my good people? Welcome. Happy 4th of July if you are in the United States. And I will warn you up front, this is going to be a very brief but very America centric live because we are talking about freedom and control. And if there's one thing that I believe that America, without getting on a soapbox too much, if there's one thing that I believe about America, it is that we are the land of freedom and we are the land of control. Now, I know there's a lot of people that want to take that away, but I am going to equate this by making a comparison between social media and a platform that I'm going to introduce you to, if you may or may not have heard of it, that's called Skool. So if you are on YouTube and you have not heard of Skool, put a 1 in the comments. If you are on, well, do the same thing on TikTok. If you have not heard of Skool, put a 1 in the comments. And when I say school, I mean Skool, and not like old school rap, but school as in Skool, the platform. And if you haven't heard about it, you are not alone. Yes, there are 27 million users to this platform, and there are probably 175,000 community owners on the platform, but we're still scratching the surface of what this thing is going to be. I told somebody the other day, I said to them, this is like Facebook in 2008 and Microsoft in 1982. We haven't even scratched the surface of what this thing is going to do. And the reason that is because of this guy. Anybody know who this is? If you know who it is, put it in the comments in YouTube or in TikTok if you know who this is. And by the way, at the top on the cover, it said helping people from YouTube. Look, I'm going to help you TikTok people too, because you're getting screwed there, just like the people on YouTube are getting screwed because you think that the best way to get paid is for views and with brand deals, and it's not. The very best way to get paid is to create something of your own and get people off of social media. But look, this guy, Alex Hormozy, now he started out just like any other entrepreneur. He was in the gym industry, as in, weight loss, workouts. He was in the gym industry. He opened one gym. Then he figured out how to advertise. Then he opened two. And then before you know it, within a couple of years, all in the same place, he had 6 gyms. And then he went from gyms to teaching people how to open gyms. And then he went to and that was local. Then he went to a basically nationwide thing where he would come and help people open gyms. Then he developed a software to help people improve their gyms. And it's gone on and on. But now you can see where my man is because he is here. He's got 4 million followers on YouTube. He's got probably 1 million followers on TikTok. But he's got 10 or so million followers on all platforms. Now, why do I tell you all this about Alex Hormozy? Well, Alex is the guy who is co-owner of this new platform. And if you do know about Alex, you know that he has written 3 Amazon best-selling books. So he knows about marketing and he knows about business building. And so what he recognized almost 2 years ago was that this platform Skool is ready to take off, right? Because it gives anyone, anywhere in the world, the opportunity to take ownership and control, to have freedom and control. Now, the problem, see, a lot of people think you have freedom and you have control on social media. And I don't really consider YouTube to be social media, but TikTok is certainly social media. And you have no control there. As evidence, and I wish I still had the screenshot, but as evidence by the fact that my largest following and social media platform used to be TikTok. I had 41,000 followers there. And then one day, you know what happened? I logged on and my password was different. And I couldn't even get into my own account. And it turns out somebody hacked into my account. They contacted TikTok and they stole my 41,000 follower account. Took down all my videos, changed the name of my account, changed the password, changed the email, changed the phone number. And then on top of all that, they blocked me from seeing my own old account. Now, on that account, I used to get 300 people on a live. I was growing a community off of TikTok. And all of a sudden, I woke up one day and it was all gone. And so what that told me is that you don't want to build your house on sand. You want to build your house on a foundation that's solid. And that, my friends, is where Skool comes in. All right, that is where Skool comes in. As you can see on this screen, or at least I think you can. Hang on a second. And guys, this is where live comes in, and you just go with it, man. You know, this. Well, let's get this out of the way because we don't want that. There we go. So this is Skool. All right. Skool is a place where you can have a community about anything that you want to have a community about. You can see here that this is a library. This is a acting community, right? Let me get rid of that so you can actually see. So you got all these different options, right? Trying to get this out of the way. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. And I will come back to you. I need to pin. How do I pin the comments on? How do I get this? Oh, there I go. Okay, so now I can take this off. There we go. That's exactly. I mean, you can kind of see it, but I'm going to move this over here. I will check back with you if you have comments on TikTok. But this is Skool. And to me, this is absolutely the most democratic place that you can build anything because you own a school. You don't rent it like you do your social media. Nobody's going to de-platform you. No one's going to demonetize you. This is the place that you own. So the best thing to do is to create a place where people that are interested in the same thing that you're creating social media content about, that they can follow you. This is acting. This is GTA. This is not even the most successful GTA community, right? This is about GTA 6. Look, this one's about learning tattooing. 651 members, $5 a month. $5 a month. Let's do a little bit of math there on that, right? 651 members, $5 a month. Guys, that's $3,200 a month. That's not bad for just something that costs you no more than $99 a month to run, right? That's really, really cool. So you've got all these different communities. Now, these are all in the hobby category. What I like about Skool is you aren't restricted to selling money-making online products. And you don't want to be selling products anyway. You want to be creating value for people so they want to hang out with you, right? That's what you want. So who has heard of this platform before? If you have, raise your hand in either TikTok or YouTube. Raise your hand. I'm going to check the comments here. I don't see any in YouTube. Anyone? Raise your hand if you have heard of this platform. See, because there's a lot of things on social media, and also especially on TikTok, where they don't really want you to know about this platform. Because, see, promoting it takes you off of social media. Now, unfortunately, TikTok has a very immature stance when it comes to promoting things that take you off of TikTok. YouTube, they don't care. But TikTok, if you show screen, if you like flip your camera around and you show screens and you do all this stuff, they're going to ban you. They're going to shut your live down. They've done it to me so many times. In fact, they got to the point where even if I mentioned the word school, they would shut me down on TikTok. But that's not how, and this is why I'm equating school. And again, I'm going to get a little America centric here. School is like America. You come out, you create a community where people can pay you every single month for your knowledge. Nobody restricts what you can say. Their only guideline is as long as you are not hurting anybody and it's not actually illegal. Other than that, they don't care. They don't care if you talk about sex. They don't care if you talk about marijuana. They probably are not great on the other substances, but because marijuana is legal in so many places in the United States and all throughout other areas of the world, they don't care. They don't care what you talk about. They don't care what medical things you talk about. They don't care anything. Your politics, they do not care. They do not restrict you. It is the ultimate freedom to talk about something, even if it's controversial, that you can talk about and nobody tells you you can't. You also own it, right? You pay for it every month, and you can pay as little as $9 a month if you want. You've got two options whenever you start a community, right? And that's what my community is about, is teaching you how to start a community. And I can get you a community up and running with one of these images and descriptions and all that. I can get that done for you in less than 7 days. I've got a 7-day sprint inside of my community where I show you how to do it. So I can guarantee you I can get you up and running, and you can look at some of my success stories that I'll share with you here in just a second. But this is the ultimate place of freedom. School is America. And what's interesting is Skool was not developed by an American. It was actually developed by I don't know if Sam is from Australia or New Zealand, and I don't know, do they all call them all Kiwis? I don't know. But anyway, this guy, Sam Ovens, who had been successful, decided, I want a place where you don't have to put together like a Facebook group, a credit card purchaser, a different platform for this, a different platform for that. He wanted to create something where every single thing was in one place. And that is exactly what he has done. Now, I'm going to bring you over to mine, right? And hopefully you can see mine now. This is my community. I have had this community now this particular community I've only had since January, or actually late December. But overall, I've been a member of the platform and had communities and been testing communities on the platform since 2003. So I got here long before most. In fact, when I got here, let me just show you the overall Skool committee. When I got here, this number right here, members, it read 13,000. 13,000. Right? 13,000. But here's what happened. Why did it explode so much? Anybody seen this book or heard of this book? It is by Alex Hormozi, who is the co-owner of the platform. Anybody seen or heard of this before? Put a yes in the comments if you have seen or heard of $100 million offers by Alex Hormozi. He just did a massive launch in August of last year. Actually, he's coming on the year anniversary of this launch that he did with this book. And it's actually green. It looks kind of gray in the live. But here's what he did. He told people about money models, right? And it's a short book, but he talked about the 4 types of money models. He talked about attraction offers, he talked about upsell offers, he talked about downsell offers, and he talked about continuity models. And inside this book, he promotes Skool. He promotes Skool heavily. So as a result, in 10 days, Skool went from 50,000 communities to almost 200,000 communities. And yes, it's dropped because people quit because they get impatient. But there are still 167,000 communities on here. But what's more important and more impressive than the number of communities, it's the number of users of the platform. This platform used to have, when I got involved, it only had about 1 million users. And it took them 4 years to get to like 5 million users. Now they're growing at about 1 million users every 2 weeks. And that's without really advertising the platform to people. So, this is a place that you own. You have total control. Like I said, you can have a community, you can have a classroom, right? You can put things in a classroom here. You can have a calendar of events where, like, I have one. Actually, I don't think I have it today because it's July 4th and most of my people are United States. So we're not going to have that. But you can have a calendar of events. And what's cool is when you go into the community, it will tell you when the next event is. So every time somebody logs on to that community, that's there. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, how's this different than a Facebook group? Number one, you don't own a Facebook group, right? Number two, usually what you see in Facebook groups here are a whole mess of ads, right? You see a bunch of ads in Skool communities. I'm sorry, in Facebook groups, right? You see a whole bunch of those. Let's see. Do we have any? No, I'm looking for something with a blue background. Let's see. Well, we'll do this. There we go. All right. I wanted to make that a little bit darker so you could see. But see, workshop call. So you have the ability to let people know about live events. And this is where this is different than just going live on social media like I am here on YouTube and also on TikTok. This is where this is different because you have total control. All right. You have total control. So again, you have a community, you have a classroom, you have a calendar, you have a leaderboard so you can gamify the whole process. You have an about page, which serves as your website. You don't need to have a website. You don't need to have a landing page or a funnel. You don't need to have email sequences. All you need is a Skool community. And then you can go out there and you can start doing what other people have done. So let me go back to Skool Discovery for a second, right? So this is the hobby community. Let's go to music. Let's go to a very specific thing like music. So this guy's got a production company, right? Learn music production. Look at this. 36,000 members, start with a free trial. And I think he started free before he started charging. But he got to a certain point where he started charging $29 a month. So this guy is making really good money. Now this star here, where's my star? Why didn't it pop up there? Oh my goodness. Why didn't it pop up? That's crazy. I don't know why it didn't pop up. But a star means you're making in the top, I think, 1% of communities, right? But look, I don't want to take much longer. I have been on here for probably about 15 minutes. But and like I said, I enjoy telling people about this because this is a great way to make money. You know about cars? Start a car community. You know about hunting? Start a hunting community. Fishing, painting, sculpting, dog training, foster care, menopause, whatever. You just start the community and then you invite people to the community. That's it. That's all you have to do. Now, my friend Cindy had a community. She had a huge following on TikTok, right? She really wasn't on YouTube, but she had a huge following on TikTok. She started bringing her following from TikTok over to Skool, and look what she did in 30 days. She gained 30 students paying her $99 a month. And that's right, my community is only $9 a month. and she was making $3,000 in 30 days. She went from zero on this platform to $3,000 a month in 30 days because of what I taught her. Then I have my friend Ray. Whoop, that's not Ray. Then I have my friend Ray here, right? Ray Gonzalez. Ray is 66 years old. Ray found me on TikTok when I still had an account there and I could go live. Ray found me on TikTok. He watched me for about 3 months, right? He watched me for like 3 months. And then he said, you know what? Let me give this thing a shot. And he's taken some breaks, but look, the guy still has 13 members paying him $87 a month. He's still making over $12,000 a year right now at this pace, and he's going to get more people. I know he is, but he's teaching English as a second language. But look, if it's something you've done, and it's something that you're good at, and it's something that you love, then you can have a Skool community about it. So it is 100% in your control. As a matter of fact, hey, Chris, what's going on, man? Chris is the guy. I wish I had yours. Let me look yours up, Chris. Hang on a second. Chris has a guitar community. I'm going to look Chris up. And this is a cool thing because they've got a search feature here. I'm going to look up Chris. I'm going to look it up. I think I have your name of your group. There he is. This is Chris, right? Chris has got 11 members in this community. And I don't know, do I have the right one, Chris? Or let me see. Do you have 2 of them, right? No, you just have the one. All right, there we go. Look. So Chris is teaching people for free how to play guitar. Now look, now this is funny because let me jump this back up here. This is funny. Now I don't have a big fancy electric guitar. I got this old acoustic guitar, right? It's a little Yamaha. I think my wife got it for me for an anniversary gift or something. But what's really cool is that if you know how to play guitar, you can teach people on Skool how to play guitar. And rather than selling one-on-one lessons to people, or rather than selling sheet music to people, you can get people in a community. Now I know Chris is just getting started with his, but let's go a little deep here, right? Let's go a little deep here. Let's just put in guitar. Look at this. 406 members paying $2,400 for the whole year. And if you think that's a lot for guitar, I want you to think about this. $2,400 a year. Let's see. Does he give 52-week guitar? Okay, so he gives 1 lesson a week. So he gives 4 lessons a month, right? Divided by 12. Or wait. Am I doing this right? 2,400 divided by 12. Or divided by 52. Guys, people are only paying $46 a week. $46 a week to hang out with 400 other people that are learning guitar. See, that's the point of this. Unlike one-on-one lessons, this is a place where you actually get to hang out with other people. And I don't know about you, but there's nothing better for me than hanging out with other people that are interested in or trying to accomplish the same thing that I'm trying to accomplish. So when I first got this guitar, right? When I first got this guitar and my wife bought it for me, this is exactly what happened. She signed me up for lessons. Now my lessons were 1/2 hour. I only got 1 a week. And I paid $17 per lesson. So I was paying $68 a month. But I only got 1 lesson. With a community, this guy and Chris and anyone else, they can, with a community, They can give you as many lessons as you want, right? Here's one for $47 a month. This guy, right? And he's teaching, looks like he's actually teaching acoustic. Learn to compose on the guitar. That one's only $55 a year, right? So you got all these different guitar communities. And so what this will tell you is that it doesn't matter if other people are doing it. You can still do it too, right? You can still do it too. And that's the best part about all of this. And I guess I wasn't really showing my, I wasn't showing my screen, was I? No, I was not. There it is. I was not showing my screen. Right, but see, that's what this is all about, okay? This is about you being able to share something you love with other people and get paid for it. That's all this is. So, cooking, gardening, like I said, painting, you name it. There's a Skool group out there for just about any activity. Bird watching, anything you want. Now, if you want to learn how to do this, because I'm going to wrap this up. If you want to learn how to do this yourself, I have a community for people who already are creating content but aren't making the money that they want to, and you're not going to on either YouTube or TikTok. Just creating content on those platforms. It used to make you a lot of money. And the people that have already established themselves, yeah, they're still making money. But the beginners, no. Because they have shut that stuff down. For views, you're only going to get about 3 cents per view. Or I'm sorry, what do you get? No, I think you get like, I think you got 5 to 10 cents per 1,000 views on TikTok. And you only get about $2 to $5 per 1,000 views on YouTube. So both of those monetization programs, they're outdated. They're completely outdated. But if you want to learn how to do this where you take people from a platform you don't own to a platform that you do own where you can charge for your knowledge, then jump on in and join the community. I created this little thing here, which I loved. So, and I was pretty proud of myself. I am not the most tech savvy guy. Ooh, look what I did. So I made this little thing here to turn your audience into $1,000 a month or more. And you can see that I helped Ray do that and I helped Cindy do that. And I've also helped other people start communities that aren't quite there yet, but they're going to get there. And then I also developed this little QR code. So if you want to check out the group, you can either go to the link in my bio inside, and I know they don't like you to do that on TikTok. See, that's why I'm not a huge fan of TikTok, because they restrict you. It's immature. I'm sorry, but it's immature. They don't care if you do that on YouTube. That's why I prefer YouTube. Also, TikTok is about entertainment and distraction. Unless you've been following me on TikTok, and I appreciate it if you have, you don't really even know about me, and you just kind of randomly happen to stumble across me. But on YouTube, people know that if they want to find out how they can stop relying on AdSense, they can find my channel and they can look for my channel. That's why even though I've got technically less people on YouTube than I do on TikTok, I find my YouTube viewers much more valuable. I really do. Just because I know they were looking for me and they found me and I'm able to help them. So if you want to start learning how to do this, you can jump in the community. You can use the QR code or you can just go to the link in my YouTube bio. Now, if you're watching me on TikTok, you have to take one extra step to find me. You have to click on my profile, go to my YouTube, and then you can find the link, right? So I hope you take advantage of this. Who's found this helpful? Anybody found this helpful? Anybody found this encouraging? If so, say yes in the comments. And guys, the more you communicate with me, the better these lives are. Now, what I forgot to say at the beginning was that I love answering questions. And that's what I used to do when I was getting like 300-400 people on lives on TikTok 3 years ago. That's what I used to do. I used to just come on. I had a little whiteboard behind me, but I would just answer questions because that's really what I love doing. Because again, I've been part of this way before it was trending, right? To be on that platform or to be on Skool, way before it was sexy, way before it was trending and in a fad to do that. I was on Skool. I was on Skool when we didn't have $9 community options. I was on Skool when we didn't have live options. I was on Skool when we didn't have different tiers inside of Skool options. I was on Skool when we only had 13,000 people with communities on Skool. I was on Skool before you could even charge for communities. They had to be free. I was on Skool before all of this happened. So I have seen massive growth. And now here's one other thing, because you might be tempted. Well, yeah, Facebook's free, and then all these other platforms that claim they have communities, they all cost more, and they all don't do nearly what Skool can do for you. Because the very last thing I'm going to show you, and this might tip you over the top. Do you know right now, if you were to go onto Facebook and you were to look for Skool ads, there's a very real possibility, despite the fact that I'm not spending any money on advertising for Skool, my school, that you could find my community on an ad that Skool is running. So what Skool is doing is they are actually spending millions of dollars every single month to help people get members of their Skool communities. They're spending millions. Let me see if I can find an ad. Let me see if I can find an ad. Hang on a second here. And this is how you know this is live, right? Because I am doing this in real time. All right, I am not going to let anybody see passwords and all that stuff, so we're going to come out of that for a second while I do this. And then we'll just do a little bit of search, and then we're going to wrap things up here. And for those of you who are in the United States and you actually tuned into a live like this on July 4th, good on you for wanting to learn. Good on you, as they say in other countries. Good on you. All right. Yes, I've logged onto this device. I am aware of that. And this is how you know this is live, right? All right, so let's see. Let's see if we can find a Skool ad. Oh, look at that. Are you seeing that, guys? Look at that. They even matched my colors. So, that's free advertising, right? That's people that are seeing an ad with my school on it, along with other high-profile Skool communities, and they can click on that ad and I didn't pay for it. And then if somebody comes to my school from that ad, and watch, let me move this over. Look at this. Oh, shop now. I can go to that. Really? Cool. Bam, my Skool community. And this is what it looks like for them if they're brand new. Start a free trial. Now, what they can't do as a non-member is they can't see your community. They can't see a classroom. They can't see any of that stuff. They can literally only see this page. And they can start a free trial. 7 days. Try it out. If you don't like it, leave. And if you stay, it's $9 a month. It's a happy meal. I mean, give me a break. But look at this. That was unsolicited that I did that. But how cool is that? How cool is that? That somebody will actually advertise for you to help you grow something. Now guess what? Go High Level, not doing that. Circle, not doing that. Kajabi, not doing that. Mighty Networks, not doing that. WAP, not doing that. Facebook, not doing that. Skool is. And this is already, these types of ads that I just showed you, they're already resulting in people getting 330 members into a group they started 3 weeks ago. There's a guy that has a Grand Theft Auto 6 group on Skool. All of his traffic has come from those ads. All of his traffic has come from the ads. He has 330 members on a 7-day free trial who are paying $25 a month. Now, even if every one of those people came from Skool, because Skool, if somebody comes to your school from an ad that Skool placed on Facebook or Instagram, Skool gets 30% monthly. Some people are really up in arms around that, and I don't understand why, because you can have 100% of nothing, or you can have 70% of a lot. I personally would rather have 70% of a lot, because if you know how ads work too. Nancy Van Winkle! I went to high school with Nancy Van Winkle. Oh my God. Long time no see, Nancy. Okay, that's my aunt. That's crazy. Okay. Wow. That's nuts. All right. So here's the deal. It's time for you to stop relying on a platform. It's just time. These platforms, they don't pay you. You don't own anything. And you don't have any freedom to say what you want to say. They can shut you down at any time for any reason. My friend Lion, who I'm in a community of his, where he teaches people how to create these backgrounds and all the stuff that you see flying all over the screen. He teaches people how to do that. And I'm in his community. And he said he had a Facebook group with like 3,000 people in it. And he was monetizing those people. He was getting them off Facebook, off to his website, and so on and so forth. They shut him down for no apparent reason. So they eliminated a source of income for him for that. But Skool is like America. Skool is freedom. Skool is control. Skool is the way to harness your own opportunity about anything you want to do. It's like landing in America, and having the opportunity to do whatever you want. Back before there were restrictions and rules and governments got involved and all of that stuff. Nobody is restricting you on Skool. That's why Skool is like America. And so that's why I was wearing this shirt in honor of not only Skool, but America. And guess what? That's going to be my lot. That's going to be my video today on YouTube. And I'll probably put it also on here. But see, if I put a video talking about Skool on TikTok, it will absolutely get shuttled. They will throttle views because they don't want you leaving the platform. They don't want you knowing about Skool. They don't want you realizing that TikTok is a terrible way to monetize. It's a terrible way. They don't want you knowing that. YouTube, they don't care. They don't care. They just want more eyeballs on the platform. And they realize if you're making content, even if you're sending people off platform, they don't care. They don't care if you have a link in your bio. They don't care if you show screens of something else. They do not care. That's why I prefer YouTube. YouTube is run by adults. TikTok is run by children. Sorry, but it is. So if you want a more in-depth look at how Skool works, how you build one, all of that stuff, that's over on my YouTube channel. But I'm going to wrap things up by saying, what if? What if you grab this thing by the horns and 12 months from now, it was paying all your bills? Now, I'm not saying you're going to make $100,000 a month like the big dogs, right? I'm not saying you're going to make $50,000 or even $20,000 a month. But what if you were making $4,000 or $5,000 a month doing this? So I don't know what it is that you are passionate about talking about. We all have something, right? For me, it's school and sports. I don't know what you're passionate about talking about, but imagine if you could gather a group of, say, 200 people that would want to hang out together and they would pay $20 for the opportunity. 200 times 20, that's $4,000 a month. That's the average American salary in the United States. So if you like your job, it's an extra $4,000 a month. If you don't, you replace the job that you hate and give it 12 months. put some real effort into it, because better than 1 out of every 2 people on Skool have a profitable community. Now, you can look at digital marketing, you can look at UGC, you can look at all these other quote unquote business models. I guarantee you cannot find one with those stats. Better than 1 out of 2. I think it's like 54% of people who have paid Skool communities are profitable, which means they're making at least either $10 a month if they're on the $9 plan, or they're making $100 a month if they're on the $99 plan. Where are you going to get those odds anywhere else? You're not. Where are you going to get the support for free from people that have already done it? You're not. But on Skool, you will get that. So we're going to be shy of an hour. And look, I used to talk for 2.5, 3 hours on this on TikTok, but I got other things I want to do today. So we're not going to stay on that long. And there's no questions. So that tells me most people either aren't sticking around, they're too shy to answer questions, or they don't know enough to answer questions. But here's the thing. I made a commitment back on, I think it was Tuesday. I think it was the 30th of the month. And as of the 30th of June, I think we were at the 183 day to the end of the year mark. In other words, we were at the halfway point of 2026. And I made a commitment that I am going to do 2 things to let people know about my community. I am going to make a video on YouTube every single day, Monday through Sunday, every single day. And you can hold me accountable. If all of a sudden you see that I didn't make one on YouTube, call me out. But I made this commitment to myself. I was doing one a week. And I'm like, you know what? Other people are doing one a week. Do one a day. So I vowed I'm going to do 1 video a day for YouTube. And I'm not talking like 15, 20-minute videos. I'm talking 3 to 5-minute videos. Very simple. And it's just about something that you know about. And you don't have to have all these fancy bells and whistles, and you don't have to be able to go whoosh, and ooh, look at those pretty things. You don't have to do all that stuff, right? You don't. I mean, it helps keep people's attention, and I can show you how to do it, but you don't have to do that. But I said I was going to go live every single day for the next 183 days. I said I was going to go live, or I said I was going to make a piece of content and post it on YouTube every single day for the next 183 days. And I was going to see how much my community had grown. And then I was going to look back and I was going to let people share on that journey with me. Now, is it easy? No. Is this what I do for a living primarily? No. But if I can spend 9 to 6 working for somebody else, I can spend 1 hour a day going live and creating a piece of content that I can put on YouTube and invite people into my Skool community so they can learn about what I love and what I'm helping other people do. I can do that. And so can you. I don't care what your job is. I don't care how many kids you have. I don't care. If it's important to you, you will get it done. And so that's what I decided. I'm going to do that. So maybe you'll join me on the journey. Maybe you'll just watch. Maybe you'll start your own journey with Skool. I don't know where you are in that process, but if you're looking for a way to make money online, especially if you are a 40 plus YouTube content creator and you just look at your AdSense and you're like, this is ridiculous. I had 30,000 views and I made $60 this month. Get 7 people willing to pay you $9 a month for a community and you make $63 a month. And you know it's predictable. And it's not, did I get 30,000 views so I can make $60? It's like, no, I have 7 people that found enough value in what I offer that they're willing to pay me $9 a month. That's already more than you make from the average YouTube. That's why I promise people I can make them more than they're making from AdSense. I promise them. If they're not monetized or they're not making any, I promise you I can make you more. Because I can structure it differently, because it's like it says here. It's your problem isn't your views, it's how you get paid. And that's all I'm going to say. we're going to wrap this up. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Hope you'll be back. And if you did, there's tons of other content, tons of other things where I show you very specifically how to do this. It's all on my YouTube. It's not so much on my TikTok anymore because I've just found TikTok to just not be where my people are, you know? So, anyway, one final time, if you want to join the group, you can click on the QR code or you can just visit the link on my YouTube, or you can go to my YouTube and visit the link, or you, like I said, or you can use the QR code. Let me know if it doesn't work too, because I just created this QR code, but I checked it on my own phone and it seems to work. But that's how simple this is. You just talk about something you're passionate about. You promote another place where people can find out more information on that thing, and then they go there. You give them a free trial. You make sure that the free trial is worth it to them, and then they stay on and they keep paying you. I've had people paying me for over 2.5 years because I love talking about Skool. And so I go above and beyond to help people on Skool. All right. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap this thing up. But I hope you got something out of this. And we will see you tomorrow for tomorrow's Daily Live. And you can also check out my daily video on YouTube.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.